Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Mr. West, the panel in general, I don't think there's anyone here who's saying unions are bad. I don't think there's anybody who would argue. I ran a union shop for almost 30 years. I've been a union member for 25. It's not about whether unions are good or bad or what they provide and what employees or don't. Certainly they've played a huge role in the advancement of workers throughout our history. Everyone here knows that. You're already a union shop. I would suggest that most of the testimony that you gave today is relatively moot, because you are not affected by any of the rules since you already are a union shop. This affects people who, and employees too, who take fundamental exception to what the Geneva Convention guarantees prisoners of war to have, and that is a secret ballot, unless I'm mistaken. It is about intimidation. It is about unions trying to do somehow through rules and regulations what they have not been as successful through Congress to do, and that is the Employee Free Choice Act. You know, it's not a matter of at all whether unions are good or bad. My personal opinion is they are both good and bad. I had wonderful employees. My union employees are the best in the world. None of that is the point. The point is, does the NLRB have the right to set up rules and regulations which fundamentally change the nature and the negotiating capacity of the businesses at question? And I would suggest to you that that's what they're doing, and that this is the preponderance of evidence is that this is an overreach on their part to try to reinforce people's ability to be unionized, even if they don't want to be. Because when someone can look over your shoulder and tell you or see how you vote or know how you vote in an open ballot, that can cause intimidation. And I, for one, think if people want to be unionized, they should absolutely be able to do that. And I wanted to ask just people in general if they feel that's a fair description, first of all. Secondly, in a world market where we are competing globally, the nature of products that we have to produce, like you do, Mr. Mittler, world-class products, the value-added nature of those should allow people to maintain a higher standard of living, I would imagine. And more skilled employees can demand more money. But the world is changing, and these are difficult times. And I understand people's deep desire to raise their wages and benefits, and I applaud them for that and would love to be a part of that. I just don't see how something like card check advances union causes, or how telling Boeing where they can locate a company when they haven't laid anybody off in their own state, how that advances the country at large or promotes jobs. So I apologize for this diatribe, but Mrs. Molina, what do you think?
I mean, I do generally agree with you. I mean, I think the NLRB in particular, I mean, it's been a gross overreach of power. And in fact, I would argue that some of their actions of late are you know, go so far as to be unconstitutional. They're trampling on employers' First Amendment, you know, or free speech rights, rather, which I believe certainly the poster rule does. And I mean, even DOL's rule that's now going to require the reporting of really any, you know, legal advice received related to labor relations is just going to curtail employers' First Amendment rights of, you know, free speech, which are set forth explicitly in the National Labor Relations Act. And I think that's very problematic that employers' rights under Section 8C are going to be trampled on and diminished by these rules, and it's very problematic.
Well, I was raised in a very simple manner, and I was taught by my father an honest day's pay for an honest day's work. And I clearly believe in the productivity of the employee, and, you know, my employees that are more productive receive more pay. And I think that's the way it should be. Those that can help produce more in our three simple rules, safety, quality, productivity, our most productive employees are going to receive the highest pay. So I agree with it. I'm not saying that unions are bad. I'm not suggesting that. I certainly think the right to a secret ballot is absolutely something that has made this country great for well over 200 years, and I don't think there's any disagreement that we want to keep and maintain the secret ballot. As was already stated, each of you was elected with a secret ballot, and if any of us ever chose to run for elected office, we would want to be elected by a secret ballot. So I agree with you completely, Mr.
And I
Hanna.
think, too, people should have the choice not to join a union, and that should be just as free and easy as those people who chose to join a union.
That's exactly what I'm suggesting in my testimony.
My time is up. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.